Hello, everyone. Happy to have you here again. Thank you very much for joining me on this live stream today. I really appreciate it. If you can say hello to me in the comment section and just tell me wherever you're watching me from. You can tell me in the comment section your location and say hello. It's still Jinsei Matters with Roy. All right, okay. This interaction promises to be greater as we have with us in the house Mr. Rotimi Olawale, the founder, the CEO of JR Farms Africa Limited. Olawale Rotimi is currently one of the recognized leading young agri entrepreneur, a youth leader in Africa's agricultural sector, and an international speaker who has addressed global audience at high-level meetings, conferences, brainstorming sessions, panel discussions, and the likes of various institutions such as the Commonwealth, Harvard, Wilton Park, African Union, UN, FAO, Africa, among others. Rotimi Olawale is known to regularly discuss on food security, SSG goals, and other related agricultural matters. Olawale holds a bachelor and master's degrees in philosophy and religious studies. He also holds executive certificate in agribusiness management program from the Lagos Business School and executive MBA in food and agribusiness in the Netherlands. Through his initiatives, he has created several jobs and mentored hundreds of young Africans in Botswana, Cameroon, DRC, Niger, Nigeria, Ivory Coast, Rwanda, Ghana, Senegal, South Africa, and other parts of Africa, respectively. He is a regular guest at various TV programs, a platform where he discusses agribusiness, food security, and the likes. He also features on the cover of some popular magazines and dailies. You will have the opportunity to interact with him and ask him any related questions you have bothering you on agribusiness. Don't go, don't go yet. Stay tuned as we interact live with Mr. Olawale Rotimi. Thank you very much, Mr. Olawale Rotimi. Nice to have you on this platform with us live today on Say Matters with Roy. Can you tell us some things you like us to know about you? Maybe just briefly. Anything you want us to know about you?
Yeah, okay, you've said a lot of them anyway in the introduction. Yeah, but I'm OLawale Rotimi Okpeyemi. I work for GR, and GR Farms is a leading agribusiness. Currently working in four countries: Nigeria, Rwanda, Zambia, and the Netherlands. Basically, we have five cardinal goals. First, which is to ensure food security. Second is to create decent jobs for youth and women. Third is to add value to African agro commodities. Fourth is to end hunger. And then the fifth one is to raise the next generation of agrarian leaders in Africa. Over the years, we have worked within the focus of these cardinal goals, and our operations are centered around these cardinal goals. Yeah, I think that's a brief I can say about myself.
All right, okay. Thank you very much for that. So, I would
Yeah.
like to ask you as a student of philosophy and comparative religion, what
Yeah.
motivated you to venturing in agribusiness?
Yeah, so that's a question I get often. But I would say maybe yeah, my desire to do agribusiness is centered around passion. Yeah, like yourself, I grew up in Oyo town, and then yeah, I have family friends who had farms, and then yeah, I remember at a younger age we were washing pigs for our family friends. Yeah, it was more fun. And then on holidays, I go to my uncle's Gary processing factory in Obomoshon where we spend the holiday. And my aunt's canteen that was close to Lautech in those days. During our holidays in secondary school, we'll go there. Yeah, it was fun. You watch the plates for her. Also in the Gary factory, you peel cassava, you sieve cassava. It was fun. We fought each other to do it. You know, But the passion was growing, and then my desire was basically to study, make a lot, work, make a lot of money, and then retire and do agribusiness big time. So the passion has been always there. I think getting university education was basically to just get an official job, work and make a lot of money, and come back to use that money to do agriculture. Yeah, but as fate we have it, it was the other way. After schooling, this is the only thing I've been doing year in, year out. So I would say it's the passion, not necessarily about the course of study.
Being in agribusiness for some years now, and also being an agripreneur, of course, over the years, what are the challenges you have faced, and how have you been able to overcome them?
First of them is the knowledge gap. It's a major challenge I faced, and then I see a lot of people in agribusiness also face. That's a knowledge gap. And when I mean the knowledge gap, I mean uh, inadequate availability of adequate knowledge. A lot of people go into the sector without adequate knowledge of how the sector runs, the issues around the sector, the value chain, etc. And then you find out that at the end of the day they get burnt, and then they withdraw from the sector. So yeah, the knowledge gap was a major challenge I faced, and then I know a lot of people still face. Yeah, another challenge I would say is the infrastructural gap. Yeah, you know, Nigeria, has a lot of infrastructural gaps, so it was difficult doing agribusiness with poor roads, with poor electricity supply, etc. So the infrastructural gap is also there. Lastly, I would say the human capital. Uh, so you need human capital on the human capital index. You know that nations like Nigeria are not, they're not well ranked. So it's quite difficult to get the right kind of workers to work with you. You find most people are just willing to work with you because of the revenue or the remuneration they want to get, not necessarily because they have anything to contribute to the job or any value to add. Yeah. So I would say those are key three challenges I faced. Yeah, the human capital we are still facing. Yeah. So basically, for the knowledge, you keep growing, you keep learning new things, you keep relearning and unlearning. Yeah. So and then for the human capital, yeah, we invest a lot in training our staff, training our team, etc. Yeah. So yeah, I think those are the ways we have really been able to overcome those issues.
Thank you very much for that. So, like you and I both know that most people will go into business, any kind of business, with the motive of getting financially buoyant. Can you go with the mindset of being financially buoyant as an agripreneur?
So yeah, people go into any business for whatever reason, but agribusiness is not one of the business where finance uh, is your major goal. You know, I would say agribusiness is a form of calling because for humanity, it's a calling for humanity. Because food is an essential commodity. It's not a luxury. It's not something that you say that I'm eating and then you take pride in it. Everybody eats. Everybody needs food to survive.
Of
So,
course.
if you find yourself in agribusiness, you'll find yourself in a business to serve humanity. So you are called to serve humanity. So I think that should be your first call of responsibility, and that should be your mindset. And that's one major thing that will keep you going in the midst of challenges. When you realize that people are waiting for what you have to produce to eat, to survive, to stay healthy. So finance is just one side of it, and I believe should not be the primary motivation. Of course, you need money to keep going in the business. You need money to keep your business up. But more important is the fact that you want to impact people. People need what you are doing, to stay alive, to keep surviving. The sick person is in the hospital. They want to take drugs. As a matter of fact, the drugs are even made from herbs that are planted by farmers. You see, they want to take drugs. They need to eat. Kids are in school. For kids to grow, they need to eat. For lactating mother, they need to eat. For the growing men, they need to eat. So you realize that you are called to serve humanity, and when you put this mandate in your heart, that your calling in life is a call to serve humanity, it's beyond money.
Mm,
Yeah.
that's right. Well, really, I I just really hope people will see it from this angle and not all about Money, 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 money. From the value they need or add to people, the value they can give to people. All right, okay. Yeah. Mr. Olawale Rotimi, in June this year, you had a discussion with the Rwanda FAO director in your office in Kigali regarding the key
Yeah.
issues on how to foster youth development in agribusiness. I mean, the agribusiness value chain. Kindly share with
Yeah.
us which aspect of agribusiness that is presently facing the biggest challenge and how can youth get involved in solving these challenges?
Okay, so I think that's quite difficult to say which is facing the biggest challenge. Yeah, because
Mm,
agribusiness is quite wide, extremely wide. You have the primary production, which includes planting, and then even with the primary production, you have a lot of as in subsectors within that place. Yeah, but there are some of the sectors that are quite challenging. Part of the sector rather that are quite challenging, and yeah, may need quick intervention. I would say for Africa, planting, which is primary production, is facing a lot of challenges because of climate change. You see, most of our crop production in Africa is dependent on rainfall. When is it going to rain? When are they going to start planting because it's raining? When is sunlight coming? Yeah, but rain no longer come the way it used to come many years ago. Everything is being disrupted due to climate change, and then what we have over time is shortfall in food production. We have seen that in Zambia, where they don't get adequate rainfall now to produce maize. You see, so and we've seen that also in other parts of the continent. So I think more and more there's a need for us to bring innovation in producing crops, and that's why we must also get young people must get involved. Bringing technology involved on board rather to produce food, maybe through greenhouses, through hydroponics, through aeroponics, soil farming, all these innovations that will keep food production resilient and make us overcome climate change without issues. Yeah, so I would say that's like a major one that needs to be resolved, and yeah, calls for innovation from young people to get involved.
okay, thank you very much for that. Is there any other aspects you think or you feel the young minds can get involved?
Yeah, there are other aspects, of course. You have the aspect of access to market also. A lot of farmers produce their goods and they don't know how to get it to market. Middlemen are ripping them off, taking off the product from them at a cheap price, selling to the market. So I think with innovation from young people, bringing technology on board, young people can create technologies that will link farmers to market. Yeah, there are a couple of that around Africa, now, including Nigeria. Yeah, but I'm not sure how efficient they are. But I think this like it's going to be a game changing solution if one is discovered.
All right, okay. Thank you so much for that. Yeah, Mr.
Yep.
Olawale Rotimi, I would like you to kindly watch this short video clip.
Okay. Good.
One of our goals in GR Farms is to raise the next agrarian leaders across Africa. Over the years, we've been doing this by giving mentorship support to a lot of young agri entrepreneurs across the continent. In addition to this, we give network support within our reach to them. In 2018, while in Rwanda at an FAO meeting, we made an open commitment to start a funding initiative to invest in agribusinesses owned by young people in Africa. Today, I'm glad to inform you that at JR Farms, we have set up a fund to invest in youth-led agribusinesses across Africa. We are piloting this initiative in Nigeria and Rwanda, and in these two nations, we shall be selecting 6 agri-entrepreneurs who will be benefiting from this $30,000 fund as equity stake in their businesses. Aside the fund which is provided by JR Farms, we're working with partners who will be providing technical support in the areas of capacity building, exposure, access to market, among others for the entrepreneurs to make the project holistic. This is Green Agribusiness Fund by JR Farms, and we are committed to raising the next gen of agrarian leaders across Africa. Visit www.gafafrica.com for more information about application. Thank you.
Yeah, Mr. Olawale Rotimi, I think this is going to be a great opportunity for agripreneurs in Africa. Can you please tell us about the requirements needed by agripreneurs to access this green agribusiness fund?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, of course, it's a great opportunity, and it's the first youth to youth funding initiative on the continent. This is the first time a young person is going to set up a fund that is designed to invest in agribusinesses of other young people on the continent of Africa. We are particularly proud to lead this initiative, and also we appreciate the support of the United Nations Food Agriculture Organization (FAO) uh, coming on board with us, and other partners like IITA coming on board with us on this project. Yeah, so the criteria to apply is available on the website. It's only for young people between the ages of 18 and 35. If you are older than 35, you cannot apply for it. And if you're younger than 18, you cannot apply for it. More also, you must be in agribusiness. So this means that you must own an agribusiness. And then you must have registered your business operating for minimum of 1 year. Yeah, so there are other criteria. Everything is available on the website, gafafrica.com. And right now, the application for the second cohort is open. So we've been receiving a lot of applications from Nigeria, from Rwanda, and Uganda. Because this cohort of 2021, we're looking at three countries, Nigeria, Rwanda, and Uganda. And then we are going to structure 200 beneficiaries into an academy. The academy will run for 3 months. So we're going to structure the academy for 3 months where they'll be receiving trainings. Interestingly, the academy, for people who have not even registered their agribusiness, we can take them into the academy to learn. And at the end of the academy, you get a certificate, which is also with logo of our partners like FAO. Yeah, so we encourage as many people as possible to apply for it, young people. Basically, we're here to raise next generation of agrarian leaders, and we're not just saying this by mouth. We are also putting the words to work by creating initiatives, practical initiatives that people can benefit from. Yeah.
Mhm. Wow, I think this is really very interesting. And it's a great opportunity for anyone out there who is interested in agribusiness. And before we
Yeah.
continue, before I ask you the last question with me, I would like to inform my viewers out there that please, if you have any question for Mr. Olawale Rotimi, kindly uh, um drop it in the comment section so that I can. So the question can be forwarded to him, or you can even call in to ask him directly if you have any question regarding the discussion going on. What advice would you give to people who wants to venture in agribusiness without any agricultural background?
Yeah, if I got you right, you said, what advice will I give to people who want to venture into agribusiness?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, so yeah, if you want to venture into agribusiness, uh, the first thing is to define your purpose. There's a common saying that when the purpose of something is unknown, abuse is inevitable. You need to be clear about what you want to do. A purposeless life is a meaningless life. So you need to be able to say, this is why I'm going into this thing. Perhaps take a sheet of paper and a pen and you write it down. This is why I'm going on this thing. This is why I'm doing. And that's why we have the five cardinal goals in GR Farms. Now, these five cardinal goals have been there from the inception. It's not as if we graduated into it. They have been there from the inception. There's nothing we're going to do if it doesn't reflect any of these goals, no matter how juicy such opportunities may look like. We're not going to take it because we have a mandate we're running with. And it is clear that that's what we're running with. And that's why we're running as a business. Anything outside it, we are not going to take it. So I would say it's very important first to establish why you're doing what you're doing. You need to have a clear mandate of what you're doing, because when the challenges come, your vision will keep you going, your purpose will keep you going. It's very important. So I would say the first thing to do is to clearly write down why you're doing it. What do you want to attain with this? And because that will also help you to measure. Where are you? Are you actually delivering outcomes? Are you actually being impactful with what you are doing? So yeah. Then another thing is to learn. It's very important to learn, to go and learn from others. There's nothing you're trying to do that other people have not done. They may not have done it directly the way you want to do it, but they would have done it in some way related to what you're doing. So I would always tell people, when you're going into agribusiness or even any form of business, always go to learn. Learn from people who have been doing it, or who are doing something similar, and they can transfer some knowledge to you. And you have to stay true. It's not as if you're trying to learn from someone and then you steal their business secret. You're trying to learn from someone, you're begging for money. You have to stay true to knowledge. And you must have sincerity of purpose. So you have to learn. It's quite important. You need to gather mentors, people who are ahead of you in business, who can teach you, who can guide you on how to go, on how to manage situations and overcome business challenges and become stronger and resilient. So that those are, I think, those are two things. If you have those two things, I think you have a smooth sail.
Hmm. Thank you very much for that. So we have a question here from um, one of our viewers. It says, as you may be aware, agribusiness is relatively a risky venture. How do you manage risk in agribusiness?
Yes, there's no business that is not risky. Every business is risky. So the only problem people have in agribusiness, I would say, maybe from Nigerian point of view, is that people have built unrealistic expectations. That's why you see online, you see people post, come and get 40% ROI. Where do you get that nonsense? You see, so people have unrealistic expectations, and then they tell you come and get 40% ROI here. People jump into it, and then So for me, I think there's no business that is not risky. The key thing in agribusiness is focus on a particular chain. You see, one of the biggest problems on here is people want to do everything in agribusiness. If you want to be a seller of seed, be selling the seed alone. Don't be the seller of seed and the planter of the seed and the harvester of the seed at the same time. The seller of the harvest, the processor of the harvest. Then you spread too thin, and then you now come back and say agriculture is risky. What's risky about it? It's you that it's you that have overstretched yourself. If you want to be a fish smoker, go and be buying the fish from people who are producing the fish and be smoking it. You know, why do you have to own a pond? You produce the fingerlings yourself, you grow them yourself, you start smoking, you overwork yourself, you overstretch yourself, management wise, and then the fish die. You say agribusiness is risky. Well, you are the one who is complicating life for yourself. So, for example, now we have a Gary processing factory that's been running for years. Yeah, we don't plan to plant cassava. You see, we have colleagues in the industry say, they have Gary processing factory. They go to plant cassava. Half of the cassava is washed away by rainfall, and they say agribusiness. Why not focus on the Gary you are producing? Go and be buying cassava from those producing cassava. So people try to do many things. That's what I've seen. So narrow your focus, and then you'll be fine.
Mm, that's great. Thank you very much for that question. Enoch from Uganda. I really wanted to uh throw more light about this value chain of a thing. Some people want to really focus on the processing, others want to focus on the production aspects, while others want to focus on, I think, the distribution aspects. So, meanwhile, some other people feel if they should go through these three processes, that's when they can benefit fully well financially from agribusiness.
Yeah, so there's no advice to give them other than to focus. It's the same thing I've said. If you look at the successful businesses in the world, they do almost one thing, just one thing. Even if you want to extend to other things, do that one thing for a long time first. You do it for a long time. Master the art, but you start agribusiness this year, you're already keeping cattle, you are keeping goat, you are keeping sheep, you are keeping this one. At the end of the day, the problems choke you, and then you come back and tell stories that agribusiness is risky. If you want to keep that cow for the next 5 years, be looking at them. Know when a cow smiles, know when a cow is hungry, know when a cow is hungry, understand everything about a cow before you now say you want to add goat. But you start the same day, you have added two goats, you have added 10 cows, two rabbits, four more, had everything together. And then you are facing all the challenges at the same time, and later you come back to say agribusiness is risky. So for me, personally, I would not have further advice because people agribusiness is not a Ponzi scheme. It's not a business where you go pick money and go. It's a business that works like every other business. If you're not patient, if you're not resilient, you cannot do it. Every business have their gestation period. They have to take for what you call incubation. It has to take for some years before they break even and start making money. But people jump into it with the mindset of, oh, they want to go and make money in this thing. There's plenty of money there. Yeah, you get your hands burnt, you lose your hard-earned money, and then you come back, you say agribusiness is risky. You have to handle it. All the business principles also work for agribusiness. So for me, I would say it's just basic. Management issues come, and then management issues are more difficult when you have too many things you are doing. How you manage a bungalow is different from how you manage a skyscraper. The day you are building a house for the first time, and then you are building a skyscraper, and then you now say it's difficult to manage. So for me, I think people need to learn to start things small, focus on one thing. If you master it, then you can extend to something else. But today you are doing this, you are doing everything at the same time.
Mm, wow. I think I really got a point from that response, and it's really an helpful one. So I also like to ask you, where can we start from now? You have been in the business. What do you suggest?
You
I
can
think
start
I'm
from
asked.
anywhere. You can start from anywhere. You start from wherever you start from the bottom. You don't climb a tree from the top. You start from the bottom. So if you are going up, you start from the ground. You see. So if you every aircraft you see that is in the sky, it started from the wrong way. So you start from the scratch. You see that's it. There's nowhere to start from other than the scratch. If you want to start from the top, then you find yourself on the ground. So it's better you start from the ground so that you stay on the top.
I think
Yeah,
that's really funny but factual.
yeah,
It's the real thing. Because uh people see they view people who have been in business for years and their achievements, what they've achieved over the years, and then someone who is just starting business maybe last month start envying someone who has been in business over the years, and then you start wondering, oh, why would you do that? And these days
yeah.
people want the fast, they want to take the fast lane.
Yeah, then if you take a fast lane, then you must be ready to get into accident. Yeah, because speed kills. So if you take the fast lane, you must be ready to face whatever comes with it. There's nothing that happens without the process. If you see
Mm,
someone who's doing fine in business, you go and find out their story. You don't start doing. You see, every great man are made. They are made from their stories. You find out their story. What did they do? How long did it take? The billionaires you celebrated today, they were once penny. They are most people with penuries. They lived on penury. So if you are celebrating them today and then you forget to look into their stories. The Amazon you celebrate today, you forgot to look back at when he was only starting the business in a studio, in a garage, and then today you are only celebrating the jeep is the space trip is going to, the yacht is buying. Then you are a dummy. So for it's important that you know that men are in the stories, that the success of men are in their stories, you know and then you have to study those stories, and then you have to go through those stages of life. So you can't boycott growth. If you boycott it, you come back to it.
wow, that's really insightful. Wow, it's been an interesting time with you, Mr. Olawale Rotimi. If there is any other question, I'll forward it to you, and then maybe some other time we can have a question and answer session. Thank you very
Okay,
much for this opportunity.
that would be great. Thank you so much.
We really appreciate it. Thank you
Yep.
very much. For all our viewers out there, would like to call it a day at this junction. Thank you very much for joining me on today's live stream. It's still Jinsei Matters with Roy. Keep watching Jinsei Matters with Roy for more inspiring, insightful, and interesting videos. I'll see you next week when I come your way again with another guest speaker. Thank you very much and bye for now.